I begin the session with the word ophidiophobia? Phobia, some kind of phobia. Can you guess what kind of a phobia am I talking about? If you see to my left, yes, when you are scared of snakes, phobia of snakes, and I am one of it. I just hate them. Even the sight, now that it's near me, I'm scared. So yeah, ophidiophobia. Now this is what we are going to talk about. I'm not going to talk about the phobia, but I'm talking about the poem, The Snake Drawing by W.W.E. Ross. Yes, that's your 9th poem of the Beehive. Let's know about the poet before we move on. William Wrightson Eustace Ross began writing poetry in or around 1923. His earliest works are written in free verse. Hold it, I'm going to pause here. What do you mean by free verse? I won't move further till you give me the answer. I guess you've said it right. Free verse is when there is no rhyme scheme in the poem. Yeah, you don't have a rhyme scheme. In that case, it's a free verse. So, his earliest works are written in free verse. Hold it, I'll pause here. What do you mean by free verse? Yes, free verse is when you have a poem without a rhyme scheme. That is called free verse. Yes? And reflect a knowledge of both imagism and Japanese poetry. Imagism is when, they use a lot of images to write the poem, as in their poem. So, this was all about it. His passion for the natural world is evident in his poetry through its focus on Canada's physical environment. He published only 2 collections during his lifetime, Laconics, that's in 1930, and Sonnets in 1932. Yes, so now let's see how much of a nature lover he is and what all does he talk about snakes. So, the snake trying to escape the pursuing stick with sudden curvings of thin long body. How beautiful and graceful are his shapes. Oh yeah, beautiful and graceful. I would never say it. He glides through the water away from the stroke. Oh, let him go over the water into the reeds to hide without hurt. Small and green, he is harmless even to children. Yes, there are types of snakes. Some are poisonous, some are non-poisonous. But then how do you know which is non-poisonous? You definitely cannot try, right? Okay, coming back to free verse, like I had mentioned before, where we said there is no rhyme scheme. So, trying, stick, thin, beautiful shapes, anything rhyming? Away, go, water, hide, green, children, any rhyming word? No. So, this poem is a free verse. There is no rhyme scheme. Let's go further. Along the sand he lay until observed and chased away, and now he vanishes in the ripples among the green slim reeds. Well, that's how short and sweet is your poem. I'm glad it is short and sweet. At least the topic is such, which is something I wouldn't want. So let's talk about the theme. The poem The Snake Drawing is based on the theme of prevention of cruelty towards animals. Now, snake is representing here all the animals. Yeah, he has focused on the snake, but the whole message is for all the animals, as in for us not to be cruel towards animals. The poet requests the people to maintain ecological balance and not to harm any species, any type of species. Most of us think that snakes are very dangerous, me first. So we kill them to avoid being bitten, but the poet reveals that all snakes are not poisonous. So they are harmless and attack human beings only in self-defense. Now, it's so said that if you don't bother an animal, he'll just be there. But if you start teasing, throwing stones and something like that, then that animal will also attack you for what? For self-defense, to save himself. In his view, snakes are not harmful if they are not disturbed. If you just leave them peacefully, they don't harm you. They harm human beings only when they think him a danger for their own life. They think that he is a danger for their own life. Maybe he has come to kill. That is the time they attack. So in this poem, the snake itself becomes a victim of human hardness. There are certain people, certain poachers, certain hunters, they are really, really bad. You know, they actually have I don't know, what do you say, a heart made of stone. They are extremely cruel towards animals. So yeah, let's see how he has explained that in our poem. Like we said, the rhyme scheme is a free verse. There are no rhyming words. We had already checked. Now, which are the figures of speech we have used in this poem? Alliteration, the repeated sound of the first letter. Enjambment is the running lines of poetry from one to the next without using any kind of punctuation to indicate a stop. So the meaning continues in the next line also. That's enjambment. Personification, non-living things are given the, yes, come on now, you know it. Non-living things are given the human qualities. Repetition also, you know, same word is repeated more than once in the same line. And transferred epithet also we have done in our poems previously. An adjective usually used to describe one thing is transferred to another. It is used to describe something else as always, but it has been transferred to another. So let's go through our poem to understand it better. So first we shall talk about lines 1 to 5. The snake trying to escape the pursuing stick. What do you mean by the pursuing stick? The chasing stick. So it is escaping some stick, someone is going to beat it. So it is trying to escape that stick which is chasing. Now is the stick actually chasing? The person holding the stick is chasing. With sudden curvings of thin long body. You know, there are sudden curvings, like it just goes like that, like that, like that. How beautiful and graceful are his shapes. Indeed, I mean, you know, nature has really made it, God has really made this species very, what do you say, in a unique manner. Every species is unique. But yeah, the way it, you know, glides through, it slithers through, yes, it makes beautiful and graceful shapes. So here, what is the poet trying to tell us in these first 5 lines? The poet says that a snake is trying to escape a pursuing stick. That is, a stick which is determined to kill him. The snake has a thin long body with sharp curves on it. According to the poet, the snake looks very beautiful and its shapes are very elegant and attractive. This is actually what it was trying to say in the lines. So in the first stanza, explaining in simpler words, the poet describes an incident where a person is determined to kill the snake with a stick and chases it. Now, it's not the stick that is chasing. It's the man holding the stick who wants to kill that snake and he's chasing it. The snake, on the other hand, is running away in order to save itself. Now, that snake is literally running away. The poet does not see the snake as something dangerous. Okay? Instead, he finds the snake beautiful and charming. He does not find it dangerous. I'm sure he would laugh at me if he gets to know how scared I am of snakes. Okay, talking about your lines 1 to 5, figures of speech. So you have enjambment. Now what were we saying? The snake trying to escape the pursuing stick. Now you see, the snake trying is not a complete thing. If you take the second line into consideration, to escape the pursuing stick, yes, then this makes sense. So it is enjambment. The meaning carries forward to the next line as well. Transferred epithet. Now, to escape the pursuing stick. Pursuing we said was what? Chasing. So is the stick actually chasing it? No. Yes, it's not the stick, right? It is the man holding the stick who is actually chasing the snake. So it's not pursuing stick. So the adjective pursuing is moved from the man to the stick. It has got transferred. Again, enjambment with sudden curvings of thin long body. Now you see, it's a continuation. Thin long body. It has come to the next line. So enjambment, alliteration, body, beautiful. Again, enjambment, long body, how beautiful and graceful are his shapes. So how beautiful, it doesn't stop there, and graceful are his shapes. So this is where it shows enjambment. Now talking of lines 6 to 11, He glides through the water away. Glides as in he moves with a smooth, quiet, continuous motion. You know, you go quiet, 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 you know, ekdam smoothly you move away. So he glides through the water away from the stroke. Oh, let him go over the water into the reeds to hide without hurt. Reeds as in water or marsh plants with thick stems. You know, you have those reeds over there in water. So he says, let the snake go and hide over there quietly. Small and green, he is harmless even to children. That snake is small, it is green, and is totally harmless even to children. So let's see how does it explain. Along the sand, he lay until observed. He lay there in the sand and he was quietly sitting in the sand and chased away. And now he vanishes in the ripples. Ripples as in small waves or movement on a surface here in the water. You know, when you go to any lake or anything, it's very calm, it's quiet, the water is not moving. But the moment you throw a stone, you know, you see small lines being formed over there. Those lines are called the ripples. Yeah. So he vanishes in the ripples. Now, as soon as he goes in the water, there are ripples. So he vanishes into that among the green slim reeds. Yes. So let's see what they're trying to tell us. The snake glides, he as in floats through the water in order to escape the stroke of the stick, the hit of the stick. The poet asks the person who is chasing the snake not to kill the snake and let it go so that it may run away into the bushes and save itself from being hurt. Says don't kill it, don't run after it, just let him go. He will, you know, run into the bushes and save himself, obviously. The poet further adds that the snake is green in color and thus harmless even to children. So he is saying that the snake which has run away from the stick stops on the sand. Now he ran away from the stick, now he went and stopped on the sand. However, the person found him there also, where he was on the sand. The snake again runs away to save its life. It finally goes into the ridges of green and thin bushes and thus succeeds in saving its life. Here it is not about, yeah, they're showing the different movements where the man who wanted to kill the snake, you know, how he was chasing and how he was once in water, once into the reeds, once into, you know, the bushes. He went and hid himself to save himself. But what are they actually trying to tell us? What is the main thing that they're trying to tell us is don't be cruel to the animals. Yeah, that's the main message being given to us. So yeah, let's look at our figures of speech. Personification, he glides, he floats. Now it's he here is the snake, right? It's not a human quality. Okay, I mean it is a human quality, it's given to a snake. So it is being personified. Enjambment, here, he glides through the water away from the stroke. Now the sentence makes sense at the completion of it on the next line. So it is enjambment. Personification, from the stroke, oh, let him go. Who him? Snake. Yeah. So again the snake is being personified. Enjambment. Now you see, this whole thing is one line. It is being divided. It is being carried forward to other lines. From the stroke, oh, let him go over the water into the reeds to hide without hurt. This whole sentence is one, but it is coming on different lines. So it is enjambment. Imagery is small and green. Now any color you visualize, you imagine, right? So in that case, when you're using your senses, yes, it is imagery. Enjambment, again, without hurt, small and green, he is harmless even to children. So small and green, he is harmless even to children, is the meaning is being carried forward. So enjambment. Personification, again the snake is being personified. He is harmless even to children. The snake is being given the human quality, and so it is personification. If you talk of the last 4 lines of your poem, personification, he lay until observed. He lay means he was lying down. Yes, until observed, that's the snake. He's being personified. Enjambment, now you tell me, come on, every time I am not going to say, I just said it so many times. Yes, enjambment, meaning carried forward to the next line. Good. So along the sand he lay until observed and chased away. So that's the whole thing, giving you one meaning. So it is enjambment, without any punctuation, without a pause. Personification, he vanishes in the ripples. Same thing, snake being personified. Repetition, and same word being repeated more than once in the same line. Definition, learn it. Enjambment, again here, and chased away, and now he vanishes in the ripples among the green slim reeds. So the whole thing is giving you one concept without a pause, without a punctuation. So it is enjambment. Yes, and yes, this is what it conveys to us. Like we said, this poem is telling us about not being cruel to animals. So how do we conclude this poem? Anthony Douglas Williams has very beautifully mentioned, when humans act with cruelty, we categorize them as animals. Understand it. When humans act with cruelty, if you are being cruel, we'll say you are an animal. Yet, the only animal that displays cruelty is humanity. Did you get it? The only animal that displaces cruelty, what is that? Displays cruelty is humanity. Humanity is the one, actually, if you are human, if you have any humanity, you will never ever be cruel. So yes, if you have pets at home, I'm sure you very well know this. You needn't, really be told this. But if you don't have pets, if you have animals, see, even there are stray animals on the road. You have these cows, you have the dogs moving about. That does not mean you need to be cruel to them. Yes, in fact, you can probably just feed them like cows always. You drink milk, but do you ever give something to the cow in return? Yeah, so please feed them, take care of them, be kind, be gentle, never be cruel. Yes, I'm sure you got the message. I'm sure you are going to implement the same. So yes, keep doing that, keep watching and keep learning.